Hey everybody, it's Kelly Cooper and welcome to another live Q&A video. And today's question I'm answering is, there was something very specific I wanted, and when I got it, it just wasn't at all what I thought it would be. Did I miss something along the way? Ooh, I love answering questions like this because it lets me talk about how fucked up our mind is. Because it's fucked up and we give it way too much credence and we listen to it way too much in this journey and we shouldn't. But anyway, nothing went wrong. You didn't miss anything at all. Here's the thing you have to understand. Your mind is working with a very limited set of data. It has no idea what you truly want and need. It misses the mark in countless ways when you bring it into the world of conscious creation. And we think we're so sure what we want all the time. And a lot of you have probably experienced this. You thought you wanted something. You got it. You're like, oh, I didn't really want this. You got something you never thought you would want, and you loved it. And you're like, oh, I never thought I would like this. My favorite example of this, every once in a while I get sucked into Say Yes to the Dress marathons when I'm home in the U.S. and I have the channel at home. I don't know why I like this show so much. I'm not into fashion or weddings or anything, but something about it, I like to watch it. And so many times the women go in so sure what kind of dress they want. This cut, this material, this, that, that's exactly what they want. Then they try on those types of dresses. They don't look good on them. They don't like anything. They're like, oh yeah, I don't really like this. And so many times, not only do they end up buying a dress that they might not have even considered, they'll end up buying a dress that they actively would have rejected at the beginning. They never would have worn that cut, that material, this, right? It's such a good example. I love that example. So sure of what they want, and then they go in, oh yeah, this isn't what I want at all. And end up with something they thought they would have actively disliked even. Not even just didn't consider, actively would have rejected. And they're like, oh my God, I love it, right? So if you get something your mind wanted and you ended up not liking it, or it didn't turn out the way you thought, nothing went wrong. Because the thing that happens with our mind is we're driven by a very deep fear we're not going to get what we want, basically. And the way our mind works is, again, it's very limited in its understanding. It doesn't understand infinite possibility. So when something actually shows up in your physical reality that has the veneer of giving you what you want, at least check some of the boxes, our mind tends to get very attached to it because it's something, it focuses on this thing that's right in front of its face. So the job opportunity that comes up, it gets very attached to that job. The person that comes into your life, it gets very attached to that person. This is why everyone wants their ex-boyfriend back, because it's something that, oh, I'm sorry, one second. Everything okay? Oh, no, we're okay. Thank you. We're good. Thank you. Sorry about that. The woman that was cleaning our house came in to ask me a question. Not quite sure what she was asking because I don't speak Turkish, but I think she was asking if I wanted her to start the fire for us, and we're good for now. But anyway, right? So your mind attaches to something that's right in front of its face. And that's all it can conceive of is what's already happened, what's right in front of your face now, you know what I'm saying? So it'll get very attached to that. And again, it checks some of the boxes. It might be the thing that you'll get what you want if this thing works out, so we get attached to it. But then we might get the actual thing and it doesn't work out. And we're like, oh, wait, what happened? I wanted this thing so badly. I thought this thing was a good match for me. And then we tend to, we can get very upset when this happens because we're the disappointment of thinking we were going to get what we wanted, but then we didn't. We're like, oh my God, well, if it's not this, then what is it? What if something else doesn't come along? Wait a minute, I was so sure what I thought I wanted this, and this didn't make me happy. Then what if I'm, we can go into kind of a tailspin. So you have to be open to what your manifestations mean to you. Again, just because your mind didn't get something it wanted, it doesn't mean anything went wrong. A good example, again, the ex-boyfriend. Your ex-boyfriend comes sniffing back around. You guys, maybe you officially get back together or you just start talking again, for example, and then it goes to shit all over again. And you're like, wait a minute, but my mind, I wanted my ex-boyfriend back. What went wrong? I wanted it so badly. I visualized, I did this, I did that, and I got it. Again, be open to what the manifestation meant. Just because your mind wanted your ex-boyfriend back doesn't mean that the ex-boyfriend was the best representation of what you wanted, which is the relationship in general, and not even the relationship, but just the feelings that you think a relationship would give you. So the purpose of that manifestation was maybe to show you, Yeah, you can stop obsessing about your ex-boyfriend. You could stop convincing yourself that the second time around things would be wonderful, and living in the fantasy world we often live in when we're thinking about exes and things that have already happened that we want back again. So right in our mind, we can make these situations wherever we want them to be. And then when it doesn't match up in reality, we think something went wrong, but nothing went wrong. So the purpose of the ex coming back maybe wasn't because you're supposed to be with this person. It was because you were meant to see something else. Something else in your vibration brought him back into your reality, and that was the purpose he was serving. Again, nothing went wrong just because your mind did not get what it thought you wanted. So with that example, it didn't work out. Now you can stop obsessing about, if we only had a second chance again, I know it would work out. Now you got proof, oh no, yeah, we're not good for each other. Now I can let that shit go, make room for a better match. So yeah, you have to be open to what your manifestations mean. Again, your mind thinks they mean one thing, your mind wants them to mean something, it might not mean that thing. Our manifestations don't always mean what our mind wants them to mean. Again, nothing went wrong. I can't stress that enough, because your mind will want to convince you that something went wrong because it did not get what it wanted, because it does a very good job of convincing you that it knows best what you want. And just because it wants something, it's the best representation. You need it to be happy. Could not be further from the truth. Sometimes the specific things your mind wants, is it on the money? Yeah, sure. It's coming from a place of self-knowing and clarity and experience. And yeah, you're pretty sure about these things. But a lot of times it's not coming from that space. It's attaching to what's already happened, what's in front of its face right now. Hopefully this is it, because then what if another chance doesn't come along? What if another person, what if another opportunity doesn't come along? Oh my God, I hope it's this thing. And then when it doesn't work out, we can kind of freak out a little bit and thinking something went wrong, but nothing went wrong. Be open to what your manifestations mean. The next guy you meet, no matter how great he seems, oh, thank you, Jesse. I'm glad that it's making sense to you and you're enjoying it. Be open to his purpose. Is he the one? Is he the guy you're going to end up in a relationship with for 3 years, or the guy you're going to end up marrying? Yeah, maybe, but he might also be serving a completely different purpose, and if he goes away, nothing went wrong. The next job opportunity, the next job interview that comes up, no matter how perfect and how much of a dream job it seems like it would be open to what the manifestation is showing you. Be open to why you attracted the interview, why you attracted the experience. And whatever happens was exactly what was supposed to happen. Just remember, everything that's happening to you is just neutral feedback, vibrational feedback. Everything that happens to you is helping moving you forward. No matter how much your mind doesn't like what happens, or how much it didn't go according to what your mind wanted, nothing went wrong, nothing's bad. You're not going to not get what you want. Nothing is wrong. Everything is always fine. It really is. But in order to kind of build off the momentum of that sort of energy, you need to be willing to accept that premise, that everything that happens, no matter how it turns out and how different it turns out from what your mind wants or how your mind thinks it should go, that it's always okay. There's a reason it showed up. It might not be the reason your mind wanted or the reason your mind is thinking, but something in your energy drew the experience to you. There's something to be learned from the manifestation. Now, this doesn't mean analyzing every little thing that happens to you. I highly, highly advise you not to do that. You'll drive yourself fucking crazy. But if you're having strong emotional reactions to things, it's good to take a look at it. If you feel like you're really struggling in a certain area and you're not really seeing any movement, stuff that happens in that area of your life, again, pay attention. But for the most part, if something doesn't go the way your mind wanted to, just shake that shit off, move on. It's fine. Again, nothing went wrong. Just because your mind wants something, it doesn't mean it's the best representation of what you want. It doesn't mean it's the best representation of what you need. It doesn't mean it's the best representation of the deeper energies you're seeking. A lot of the times it's not going to be, because again, your mind, it latches onto things that have already materialized, and it's afraid you're not going to get what you want, so it clings to these things and it wants it to be this thing, because if you get this thing, then your mind will feel better because you got what you wanted. That's another thing too to keep in mind with a lot of the stuff your mind latches onto. Your mind is operating from a space of just wanting to minimize your pain. It's very willing to accept very watered down versions of the things you're capable of creating. It has a very low bar for what it's willing to accept into your life. It just wants to manifest something that's good enough to make your icky feelings go back dormant and remain undisturbed. That's your mind's main goal. It does not care about true happiness. It doesn't care about living an awesome life. It doesn't care about manifesting miracles, all that wonderful shit. Doesn't give a crap. Has no use. That's all bells and whistles to your mind, right? that's another thing too to keep in mind when this sort of thing happens. Your mind is just latching on again to kind of whatever's in front of your face that's good enough, that'll do. That's it. That's all it cares about. Whether or not this is really the best representation, what you truly want, really the best representation of the deeper energy you seek, it doesn't matter. Doesn't care about any of that. So yeah, just be open to your manifestations and what they mean. Again, don't overanalyze every little thing that shows up, but if you find yourself very attached to something, strong emotional response to something, all of that, then yeah, still things distracting me here. Then yeah, pay attention. But for the most part, you just shake shit off and you move on. Again, just because things didn't go the way your mind wanted them to go, your mind thought they should go, your mind's going to want to convince you that something went terribly wrong along the way. That's not true. Nothing could be further from the truth. It's all good. It's all fine. There's something better waiting for you. Trust me. There's always something better. There's infinite possibility. There's no limit to what you can manifest. There's no limit to like how many times you can try to manifest something. It's like, oh, well, you tried to get a boyfriend 3 times and you failed. Sorry, like you can't have a boyfriend anymore. Like none of that stuff is happening. So yeah, be open to what your manifestations mean. Just because your mind did not get what it wanted does not mean anything went wrong. Nothing ever goes wrong. Everything's fine. Everything's just neutral feedback of your world. Stuff you don't like is going to happen sometimes. It's good that this stuff is being brought to your attention. And it's good that you're having these responses because then you can see what's really happening in your energy. If you don't know what's happening in your energy, you really can't change it. And if your energy doesn't change, your reality can't really change in any significant way. You could change it in surface ways, little here and there by giving a little attention to your energy or whatever, but real deep, meaningful change, that's really hard if you don't really know what's happening inside, and these manifestations help you see that. So if you are experiencing something like this at the moment, you've got something specific your mind wanted, this particular person, the particular job, or whatever, some opportunity or some experience, and you're just like, oh wait, this kind of sucks, or this actually was like a bad thing, somehow it was a bad thing for you, or whatever. What's the manifestation bringing it up for you? What is it making you feel? What sort of beliefs is it solidifying or whatever? And then you can see the real purpose of it, and then you'll see nothing went wrong. It was there to show you it served a completely different purpose than your mind was thinking it should have been serving. And yeah, that's it. It's fine. Don't listen to your mind when it comes to this stuff. Again, it has no idea really what's happening. It has no idea what you're capable of. It has no idea what you truly want and need. It's operating from a very fucked up space. And if you let it dominate, it's like you'll still be able to change your reality. Don't get me wrong. You don't need some perfect vibration or anything like that. But you just really sell yourself short, and you kind of, you have all this conscious creation, all this power, if you will, all this potential, and it kind of gets wasted when we let our mind run the show and run the journey because it just doesn't really know what's happening, and it doesn't know what's going on, and it doesn't have any use for the version of yourself you're capable of becoming and the type of awesome things you can manifest. It doesn't really care about any of that. So it's not going to really let you go to those places. So yeah, just whatever your mind is doing, you can't stop your mind chatter, but you can choose not to get emotionally invested in it. You can choose not to listen to it. That's always a choice that's available to you. Even if it won't shut the fuck up, it's fine. It never will. That voice in your head never runs out of things to say. And it's usually going to be saying things that are upsetting to you. You just choose not to listen to it, not to get emotionally invested, and you'll actually be fine. It's not the problem that we think it might be. So yeah, that's it. Just be open to what your manifestations mean. If something doesn't go the way your mind wanted it to go or thought it should go, or happened according to some specific way your mind thought it needed to happen, it means nothing. Your mind will think it means everything, but it really means nothing, and it's fine. And just shake shit off. And just wait for something new to show up, because something new can always show up. You just have to be open to it. So yeah, that's it. For more content, head over to livelifemadetorder.com. Podcast, blog posts. You can learn more about my coaching services, some products I have on offer there. Lots of good stuff. Have a great day or night, and happy manifesting. It's not turning off.